Hello folks, this is Roger Daniel Alcocer here for the Magnificent World of Toys. So today I want to actually take the time to do sort of a review on this Pennywise figure from the movie It by Sideshow Collectibles. So I started collecting 1/6 scale like seriously over 15 years ago. And I've really scaled back in recent years. Pretty much after COVID, I kind of stopped, the cash flow sort of stopped coming in for this kind of stuff. And so every now and then I do get the odd figure. And, it really has to be something that I haven't seen before, something I never thought would ever get made. And that is certainly this Pennywise figure. I really didn't think a figure like this would ever be made. There was a couple of customs out there. A friend of mine actually had one. Super excited to finally have this in my collection. There was honestly like a list of figures when I started collecting 1/6 scale. I had my top 10 list of figures that I hoped would be made, and this one was definitely in the top 10. Many of those have already been made, and I was always wondering, when is Pennywise going to be made? I honestly thought that we'd see this figure at some point when the remake of It came out. And it took about 4 or 5 years, I think 6, but here it is, we finally have it. And so Pennywise comes packaged in this pretty cool box. It's actually meant to resemble a VHS tape box. Upon opening the box, you will find that Pennywise comes packaged in 2 plastic trays. Now, I can't stress enough how much you want to be careful when you open these packages. If you pop them open, the accessories sometimes pop out with them, and then you're going to have hands all over the place. You're going to have hands under your table, under your desk, under your sofa, and you're probably not going to find some of them. I want to go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that this comes with. So first, it comes with this little paper boat. This is not made out of paper. It's actually a little plastic boat, which is great. I haven't checked to see if it floats. I don't know if I'll ever do that. Try that at your own risk. Pennywise comes with a fairly plain stand with a It the movie logo on it. So this is very plain and very standard, but that's okay. As long as it keeps the figure upright and it holds them securely, I'm okay with it. You get a nice pile of hands. You get 5 right hands and you get 7 left hands. You get 1 right hand holding a yellow balloon, 1 left hand holding 3 balloons. Then you get 2 demon hands. You get 3 right human hands and 5 left human hands. You get this amazing snarling head sculpt of Pennywise. Aside from that, you get his normal head. The paint job is just incredible. It's immaculate. Also, the costume is just super highly detailed, just unbelievable. And you do have to kind of mess around with his hair a bit. I just suggest being very careful. I just try to brush it gently with my finger or something like that. I don't know if I'd want to use a brush or whatever. Now, in terms of value, I actually bought this in payments. I do gotta say it's a little expensive, but you do kind of get your money's worth. I mean, you do get the additional head sculpt, you do get the demon hands, you get the boat, you get several of his hand gestures, which is pretty cool. I mean, you could get all kinds of poses out of him. A lot of the iconic movie poses and things like that. And quite frankly, I'm not sure what more you can ask for unless you want the big spider version, which that would be great, but that would probably cost thousands of dollars. Either way, I am pretty satisfied with this figure. And like I said, from having no 1/6 scale Pennywise to having one and officially licensed, I'm really happy with this purchase. This figure feels a little lightweight. The body itself, it doesn't have any weight. It seems very light. And my thing is that if you probably try to pose him too aggressively or something, you may snap like a knee or something like that. So just be very careful when moving him around and posing him around, because like I said, it's not like heavy, sturdy plastic. It's very light, and that kind of scares me. These balloons are made out of plastic, and they tend to be a little top heavy. If he's holding these balloons, you have to make sure that he's holding them up at least 90 degrees upright. If you put it any lower than that, the weight of the balloon starts to pull on the forearm and it starts to drift, and you'll see what happens right now. So that could be a disaster if, for example, I mean, it's a light figure. That can possibly cause him to topple over if you don't have him on the stand right. Either way, be careful when you put these balloon hands on him. I mean, I wouldn't suggest leaving it on there for an extended period of time, because that eventually is going to cause that, you know, joint to loosen up. There's too much weight on that elbow right now, and I don't think it's going to stand the test of time that way. So maybe you can do something like this, like pose him like this to impress friends or something like that, and then put on his normal hand or whatever. But you don't want to leave it like that for an extended period of time. Just put on his normal hand, and that's it. I mean, unless you want your figure to fall over, or, you know, unless you don't care about what happens to the elbow. But you really need to be careful in that respect. After this video, I will be taking this hand off and just putting on like another one of the regular hands, or I'll probably just be setting them up like in demon form, you know, put on this head and put on those hands, and maybe leave them like that for a while. But, you know, I might feel cute and go outside and want to take some really cool pictures of them with the balloons or stuff like that. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend leaving these balloons on him for an extended period of time. It's just not a good idea. As far as availability for this figure now, all I can say is good luck. I mean, I pre-ordered this figure. I don't normally pre-order 1/6 scale figures, but I had a feeling that this figure eventually would become pretty hard to find. We're in May of 2025, and as of now on the Sideshow Collectibles website, it states him as on the waiting list. They may have some more coming in. I don't know. I just don't know how those wait lists work. One thing I do know is that there's a handful of vendors that may still have them. Google it and see where you can find them. But if you could find him now at retail price, I suggest you get him. There's no telling if any more will be made. The price will go up. And if you're a fan of Pennywise, I seriously think this figure belongs in your collection. So that about does it for this review of this amazing Sideshow Collectibles Pennywise figure. So with that being said, may those who play never gray. Take care. See you soon. This was Roger Daniel for the Magnificent World of Toys. Goodbye.